Hello, everybody. My name is Ruham Manzoor, and welcome to another episode of Study Abroad with Maces. Today, we are very happy to have with us, continuing on our series of world's top universities, Queen's University Belfast. So, with us from Queen's University Belfast, we have Miss Neeta Tyagi from Delhi. Hi, Neeta. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for introducing me,
Um,
Ram. How are you?
we're good. We're great. In fact, I visited Queen's University Belfast campus myself. I think back in 2014 or 15 or 16, one of those. And I had such a great time because it's such a, beautiful, majestic, historic, small community. Which is very, very friendly to our international students. So I know that our students had a great time when they were studying there because I actually visited some of them in their homes. And what struck me actually about the place, of course, QUB as a Russell Group university is one of the top ranking universities for all subjects. And of course, you're going to cover that in your presentation. But more importantly, um, what I loved about the place is the people. The people were so welcoming and so friendly. I like to go around, walk around and talk to people, and I just had nothing but the best things to say because people were just coming in and saying hello and interacting, and so that is something that I think defines Queen's University Belfast. Now, of course, it's not for everybody. I mean, there's it's a small city. It's a big city, but it's still a city. It's not a town. So everything is walking distance. So if people who are like set on London is not going to get that. However, for somebody like me, for example, when I went to university, I went to a university town where I had the privilege of being in a smaller environment, and the biggest advantages of that is the community. As an international student, you're easily able to get to know people, so all of these things make it a great thing. I'm gonna give away your presentation. I think I suspect I already have. But Neeta, before I start, I want to remember a close friend. Neeta's predecessor was Ashish Vats, and he was the, I think, regional manager for South Asia for many years. I think we started our relationship
For over
with
7 years.
Ashish, and over with it's a 7-year-old relationship. We've known each other for a long time, and we have remained good friends. And we lost him last year, so I hope wherever he is, he is in a happier place. He definitely left too soon, so. I wanted to remember him and pay my respects to him and his family because we lost a good friend, let's just say. But we have you, Neeta. We're so glad to have you and taking over your shoulder the big responsibility of managing Queen's University Belfast, and for us, for our Bangladeshi students, and for our agencies. So how are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for the beautiful introduction to Belfast. I couldn't have done a better introduction, but I very much echo what you said in terms of the people. I think that is one thing that uh, outstood me as well when I first visited Queens and visited Belfast as a city. I have been an international student myself, Ruhan, and I have studied in the UK, so I have that experience of the student life. But something that I really loved about Belfast was the warmth in the people, and also how friendly and how everything was so approachable. Everything is just walking distance. It's a beautiful student city, and also the people are just amazing.
Yeah, and that is what makes a huge difference because students don't realize that when you're one person. I mean, London is a great city and all that. I mean, the big cities are, but you often tend to get lost because pretty much you have to go to class, finish your studies at home, do your part-time job, and that's it. That's, as a student, that's it. And of course, yes, you want to go to restaurants and museums and things like that, but those are touristy things which you can get away with within the first 2 3 months. And after that, what? So that's where I think a smaller community really, takes into place. Nita, the way we design this is obviously you're going to show us a presentation of the university. And then after you're done, we'll have some questions for you. You want to start on that?
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for joining in on a Sunday night. I hope you guys have had a good day. And just to begin it with, of course, Ruham just gave a beautiful introduction to Belfast as a city. So, in the next few slides, I really want to talk about Belfast and how Belfast can be one of the major attractions for students from Bangladesh, and also how it can cater to all the programs and your um, career aspects after you finish and graduate from Queen's. So the next few slides just literally talk about Queen's and Belfast as a city. I will also talk a little about the programs at Queen's, their scholarships and entry requirements for your just for your information, so that if you fit into the category, you can apply, you can contact the Maces team and they can help you through. Okay. So just with that, my first slide here just gives you a focus on where we are. We geographically are based in the island of Ireland, but we are connected politically and economically to the UK. So it can get a bit confusing for students or anybody who doesn't know Belfast as much. So all the major airports in the UK, as you can see, are just less than 1 hour by flight. Just less than 1 hour flying time, actually. So it literally takes about 50 minutes flight from any major airport in the UK, which is London Heathrow, Manchester, Birmingham. All those are very well connected to Belfast. And there are multiple flights during the day that connect to Belfast. Again, Belfast, because of the location, it's only about 1.5 hour drive or a train journey to Dublin. So, we are very well located. Also, when you consider our connectivity to rest of the Europe, all major cities like Amsterdam, Paris, cities that students aspire to visit are less than 2 hours flight from the Belfast city. So Belfast as a city has two major airports. One of them is an international airport. So students, anybody who wants to travel from Bangladesh can travel, connect there, take a connecting flight from Heathrow or any other UK airport. Also, if you are interested, you can also take an entry port from any European country. Because Belfast has an international airport, you can do your immigrations in Belfast, which are very easy and a lot faster than Heathrow. So in terms of connectivity, it's very easy to get to Belfast. Again, in terms of just getting to the next slide, when I talk about Belfast is one of the safest cities in the UK. According to the British crime surveys 1920, Belfast has been repeatedly ranked as one of the safest place for students going for undergraduate studies or anybody who's traveling abroad for studies for the first time. It's absolutely safe for you to even walk from the library to your campus accommodation, which is on campus again, even late night after you finish your studies. So it's absolutely safe for students to walk anywhere within Belfast. Also, a very less known fact, the picture that I've put on the slide is of the Titanic Museum. A very less known fact about Belfast and Titanic is there's a long history for Belfast and Titanic. The ship was built in Belfast and Titanic started to sail from Belfast. So that it is a very historical connection with Titanic. So we have a dedicated Titanic museum based in Belfast, which also now has a hotel. So it's a very popular tourist destination and a lot of people come to visit the Titanic Museum. So, also apart from Belfast being one of the safest places, it also has one of the lowest cost of living in the UK when compared to living cost in London, which can be sky high. Your cost in Belfast will be 60% lower than what you would experience while you are in London. And also compared to cost of living in any other major city in the UK, Belfast is a lot cheaper. Two reasons that I think, from my personal experience, I have to share. I think one is because, like Ram mentioned in the start, everything is walking distance. So you don't really have to spend a lot of money to in your transportation, so you can literally commute to every place walking. Sometimes students, what they prefer is to take a bicycle, so again, which makes it faster and smoother for them to get to places. So also, the second thing that I noticed is eating out and entertainment in Belfast compared to London and any other major city in the UK is a lot cheaper. So students who generally prefer to eat out or go for cinema, again, there that is a lot cheaper in Belfast, so again, which brings the cost of living down. So Belfast has some of the stunning natural landscapes. So I am sure a lot of you have followed Game of Thrones, and the next few slides will just give you very nice memory of the Game of Thrones. So, the reason why I've put these slides here is because a major part of the show was shot in Belfast, and this is one of the very popular tourist attractions in Belfast, because a lot of Game of Thrones fans, they want to do a Game of Thrones tour. So this is something that's really attractive to the students, and something that's just, they can do it on any weekend. So now jumping on to the university, the building that you see in the background of my slide is the very famous Lanyon building. It is one of the oldest university buildings. And also, when I talk about Queen's establishment, we are the ninth oldest university in the UK. We are a part of the prestigious Russell Group, alongside universities of Cambridge, Imperial, and so many others. So when I talk about Queen's as a university, we are ranked in the top 200 globally according to the Times Higher Education Rankings 2021. We are also ranked 140 in the world for graduate prospects. So when I talk about the university, we have about 27,000 students on campus, out of which more than 3,500 students are international, which come from 85 different countries. So any student who goes to Queen's will have a real international exposure. Also, I was talking to you about the picture that I've used on in the slide here. It is the Lanyon building, and we are also ranked as one of the most beautiful campuses, in the top 15 most beautiful campuses in the world. So you, once you come, you will see a beautiful architecture that the university has, depending on what building that you will be a part of. So, like I said, Belfast as a city and is a very small city, while having access to everything. So we as a university are in the heart of Belfast, which means the city center is just about 15 to 20 minutes walking distance. And so students really can go to the city center even after they finish with their classes. Now, when I talk about the university and the faculties, we broadly divide the faculties into three categories. One is the Faculty of Medicine, Health, and Life Sciences. The other is the Faculty of Engineering and Physical Sciences. And the third is the Faculty of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences. Um, Again, we offer majority of the programs that I will talk about in the next few slides. But I wanted to touch upon our strengths for research. We as a university, sorry, we as a university rank number 8 in the UK for our research. We are a research intensive university and have done phenomenal researches in the field of health sciences. We have a very popular research center for electronics, communication, and information technology, global food security, and global peace, security, and justice. When I talk about the Research Institute for Information Technology, we have companies like Facebook, McAfee, Norton, all of those companies investing a lot of money in our research center to counter, world problems. So Queen's academics and students are a part of this research. So anybody coming to Queen's with a prospect of doing, or an intention of doing research in the future, sorry, so So this is a very good prospect for you in terms of research. Now, talking about our popular programs. Um, these are just a few programs that I have listed as per the interest that we get from students from Bangladesh. One of the very famous popular programs are from the management school. So we offer all programs within the management school, starting from economics, accounting and finance, business analytics, international business, actuarial sciences, and MBA, apart from many other programs. So we also have leadership for sustainable development. We have engineering programs in cybersecurity, mechanical, electronics, construction, again from the Faculty of Medicine, Health, Life Sciences. We have masters in public health, global health, computational genomics, then microbiology, and biotechnology. So these are the programs that we offer amongst a whole range of other programs, which you can kind of speak to me and just ask me about those in the later section of this session today. So most of our programs require a 2 is to 1 degree, which means if you have 60% and above, or if you're graded a CGPA out of 4, we would accept anything with 3.2 and above. Any Only construction project management and MSc management requires 2 is to 2 degree, which is a 55% and above. So these are the 8 universities where we accept students with a 4-year direct entry to the university. So these are just listed here for your information. So now coming to fees and scholarship, this is just the fees for our undergraduate and our postgraduate programs. Most of our programs in the postgraduate entry are ranged between 18,200 for any program which is a classroom based program, which means does not have a lab included. So any program which has a lab included will be 22,050 pounds, and all our management programs except for MSc economics are priced at 21,500, and the MBA is 26,250. Now, talking about the management school in specific, because I see a lot of interest from students from Bangladesh in the management school and the management programs. Our management school has recently been accredited by Equis, and our MBA is accredited by AMBA. So these are world recognitions that a very few institutions in the UK have. Now, coming to scholarships, we offer a whole range of scholarships for undergraduate and postgraduate students. So, International Office Scholarship, which is given to all students who meet the requirement, will range between 2,000 to 3,000, depending on what program you're going for. We also have Vice Chancellor's Award, which are a 50% reduction in the tuition fee, and we have 4 awards available. So this is a very competitive scholarship, but we've always been having South Asian students getting Vice Chancellor's Awards. I would kind of motivate students, once they have an offer and you accept your offer, please apply for the Vice Chancellor's Award. We also have an exclusive scholarship for South Asian students, which is the Queen's Management Scholarship, which is a 5,000 pound award, and you will get the scholarship automatically after you make an application, as long as you meet the deadline of the 30th April. So that's the deadline for students to be considered for the 5,000 pound management scholarship. Over and above these 3 scholarships, you can also avail the early bird award, which is a 1,500 pound reduction on your net tuition fee if you hold an unconditional offer letter and make a full fee payment by the 30th of June. So, some points as why study at Queen's. These are just a few, USPs, I could say, or something that stood out for me compared to any other university for Queen's. So, one of the major focuses that we have is for employability. We rank number 1 in the UK for entrepreneurial impact. We also are amongst the top 10 in the UK for student placements, and we rank in the top 140 for graduate prospects. These are it's just a snapshot to give you and tell you what type of companies that we work with and the links. that we have with industry. We also have accommodation on campus. These are just a few buildings, and the accommodation ranges from £85 to £124, depending on the type of accommodation you choose. So there's definitely something for everybody that we can offer. That brings me to the end of the session. And Ruham, anything that you would like to ask me?
Thank you
Any
so much
questions?
for that, Nita. I mean, I think, that's one of the things. I mean, it's a very historic university, but what sets it apart is obviously, the fact that there's so many opportunities for students after they graduate. While they're studying, they get to interact with other people, and generally have a great experience. Now, first of all, I wanted to thank you. I know it is a Sunday, you're not particularly doing well health wise, and you still were committed enough to be in this session. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
Very
So I wanted to ask you about the scholarship for the £5,000. So everybody who applies before April 30th, will they be able to get it, or like how does it work?
Yes, everybody who accepts the offer by the 30th of April. So, when I say accept the offer, the
Get
management school basically has a condition on their offer to pay a deposit to confirm their seat, wherein the student has to pay £1,000 on their offer. So, if they accept the offer and pay the £1,000 deposit, they will be eligible for the £5,000 scholarship.
Okay, great. And I wanted to highlight those universities which are accepted by the Queen's University Belfast, North South University, IUB, International Islamic University of Chittagong, American International AIUB, East West University, Yoda, Stanford, and Daffodil. Is there any possibility of increasing the number of accepted universities? Because there is a lot of universities out there which are really good, but which are I'm not seeing in this list.
Yes, so we are working on extending the list. So hopefully we should have an updated version for you very soon.
Excellent. We'll be happy to work with you on that front. And so with regards to the university, what are your when should a student apply? Like when do the courses get full? Are there any application deadlines?
Oh, yes. So I'm glad that you mentioned this question, Ruham. I missed on this part. So we only have a September intake, and some of the popular programs that I listed on the slide today, from the management school, from the engineering programs, which come with 1 year of internship, these programs have capacity on these programs. So we would generally advise students to apply now, because by end of March is where we see these programs closing. Most of our programs
So the ones with the 1 year advanced placement courses.
yes, correct.
Okay. So, if you want to apply, you need to apply as soon as possible so that you can take
Absolutely.
advantage of that. Now, with regards to, you have a very good career focus. Now, obviously, right now, there is a 2 year post study work that is available for students. So, this was the first intake that students graduated, or was it last year that students have been getting the post study work? So, how
This year.
successful have students been in getting the post study work, especially the
So
international students?
yes, so Ram, instead of, okay, of course, after the graduate route, things became a lot easier for international students. But I would also like to highlight the university's strengths in the employability and the focus for students to be more employable. So we actually at the university have a very strong careers department, and any student who enrolls full time at Queen's gets access to an exclusive Queen's app, which is called the My Future app. So the careers and employability, they put in regular job. They post about internship opportunities, any graduate jobs on the app. So students, wherein they think they fit perfectly for that role, they are happy and they are free to apply for those jobs. So there's a very strong focus on employability. And also for a lot of schools, now they have the career officers based out of their schools as well. We as a university host two international career fairs on campus, where we invite employers across all disciplines, and we invite students to interact with them,
Okay.
understand what are the opportunities as well. So we are a very, very career focused and an employability focused university.
That's awesome. Now, with regards to, do you have any idea? I know, like, this is not something that is done regularly, but do you have any idea what is the average starting salary in the UK for graduates,
I
especially for QUB students?
Yes, so we've had like a whole range of students. I know students who've got into the very start of the career wherein they've just started with 24,000 pounds. But I also know students who are up. Getting 48,000, 50,000 pounds, and then also working in the government sector. So it literally depends on how proactive you are, because the university will give you various platforms. So, just for example, on the 20th of January, just 3 days back, we hosted a webinar where we invited the Construction Federation to meet the students, just because we realized that students who went in last January did not fit into the recruitment cycle. And that was the
Right.
feedback that we got from the students. So the university took a step forward, contacted the Federation of Construction. They came on board, and they have now, doing webinars and contacting the students for placements. So there's a lot
Wow.
of support that the university does, and that was just a first of a series of interactions that we are doing. We have one now, probably I think scheduled for the 27th, where we have a lot of mechanical engineering coming to speak to the students. So the university is putting in a lot of resources.
And this is something very important for students, because you have to be proactive in applying for jobs. So a lot of times South Asians, what we do is, okay, let's get the results, then we
Correct.
apply. But no,
Correct.
you actually, the first job fair that many universities arrange is in November. So
Remember.
remember, things are going in September, and the first job fair is November. So a whole year before they're even
Yes.
graduating, they're starting to apply. And
Yes.
that those are the ones. And you remember, you're going to Queen's University Belfast, so this is something very, very important. A lot of times students choose a lower ranking university, perhaps in a bigger city,
I
because
agree.
that's where they think it's convenient. But one has to look at, because this is your future, you have to look at the overall prestige of the university. So a university like Queen's University Belfast can really be the stepping stone for you to get your job. Now, to the reason I asked the starting salaries, if you apply ahead of time, you're going to get those lucrative jobs, which is higher pay. Now, in the UK, of course, you're going to be getting the 2 year post study work. But if you want to stay further and make it into, like, I don't know, like a tier 2 visa and then permanent residency or something, then actually you need to get a job by a registered sponsor, like an employer who can sponsor an international, who is willing to pay you about 25,000 pounds or more. Now, if you do that, then you can actually qualify to get the tier 2 visa, and then that
Correct.
can be a pathway into future employment and staying. Actually, we have many, many students who have taken advantage of that. And the way to do that, of course, is to study in some of those higher ranking universities, because that allows you to access that, which is otherwise closed. But again, you have to apply way ahead, and
Correct.
yeah.
Yes. And also, one thing I would like to mention, of course, Belfast, because it's a relatively smaller city, a lot of people and students think that they wouldn't get enough opportunities while they are in Belfast. So, one thing that I would like to emphasize and highlight is I haven't seen any students struggling to get a part time job in the past 6 years I've been affiliated to Queen's. The other thing is also Belfast is now the second. It's the second destination for companies to set up their base outside of London. So, because
Oh,
of the
wow.
connectivity after Brexit, and Belfast government, giving grants to companies to set up their base in Belfast, there are a lot of companies, for example, Deloitte, KPMG, those companies are now putting one of the biggest offices outside London in Belfast. So, those are
Wow.
again opportunities for students to grab while they're there.
This is like really good, because then the whole process of going into interviews become easier, and getting a job becomes easier. So those are very, very important. Now I am conscious of the fact that it is a Sunday, and Nita is off and she is not 100% health wise. So Nita, thank you so much for spending time with some of our students. Now, for those students who are listening, listen, if you want to apply, we've been doing this for 15 years now. And, we have, knock on wood, one of the highest success rate for admissions and visas from Bangladesh. So please take advantage of it, because, we don't have any fees. That's free. So we can help you get into some of these great universities completely free of charge, and help you with your visa as well. You can connect with us by Facebook. You can message us. You can email us at mail@macesbd.com. You can also call us at 017-5566-0803. We have an office in Dhanmondi, an office in Gulshan, and an office in Sylhet. So, we are very easily accessible for many students. And of course, we are fully available online. So, we are fully accessible anytime, anywhere. Nita, you wanted to say something before we say goodbye?
Just a very big thanks to you and your team for arranging this session. I really look forward to getting students from Bangladesh and Maces. Thank you for your support.
Thank you so much, Nita,
Thank
and hope
you.
to see you again soon.
Absolutely. Bye bye.
Bye,
Thank you.
everybody.